Okay. Hello and good afternoon, everyone, to the first Design Advance workshop. I'll be sharing the screen first. So, I am Pranami. I'll be the host and even the speaker for giving an introduction of the decoding a project in Revit. So let me go through the webinar schedule first, which we have scheduled here. So first, with us we have Kanchan from Ethos. So she will give you the Design Advance 2024 brief, and then I will be going through the company introduction, a small introduction of it, and then I'll be directly moving to the introduction of IC, that is industrialized construction, and then we will move to Revit, where we will decode the high-rise residential building that we have prepared, and we will show you how those components are differently made, and I have installed that in the high-rise building. So we'll be discussing in brief, and also I'll be showing you some videos and photos for your reference so that you get an idea of it. And also during the whole process, the Q&A is open. So any question regarding it, you can ask and we'll be answering that at the last. Okay, so first let's go to the first part, that is the Design Advance 2024 brief. So for that, I'll be calling Kanchan. You are there, right, Kanchan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Pranami. Hi,
Hi.
everyone participating in this webinar. Hello. I'll be introducing the uh, Design Advance brief to you. Pranami, could you please check if the screen sharing is enabled?
Y- yeah, just a minute. Is I think I have enabled it right now.
Yeah. So we'll be doing a quick run through the architecture of assembly brief. Uh, like you saw in the video before this briefing, we are moving towards industrialization of construction through prefabrication. And Design Advance 2024 brief is precisely about that. It is about industrialized construction for high rise buildings, particularly the residential buildings that you have to design. So we'll discuss the theme first, then your design task, then the guidelines for participation, and then some quick FAQs we can take. So let me just introduce what architecture of assembly means. Prefabricated construction, some of you might already be aware, or some of you might have already heard of it. It is where the components of a building, whether they be something like wall panels or floorboards or ceilings or doors and windows or something as big as an entire bathroom or a kitchenette, can be prefabricated in a factory and then later transported to the site together and assembled in a short time. So the uh, major benefits of prefabricated construction within industrialized construction is the savings in terms of time, in terms of cost and effort, as well as the precision and the consistent quality it offers. So let's just understand it through some graphic help. What do you see here? You see a lot of repetition in all three of these images, right? So high-rise residential buildings in particular, they have many repeating elements like staircases, like the fire staircases, railings, facades, balconies, toilets. These are the repeating elements because often in the design of a multi-storied residential building, you'll design it as a repetition of the same layout of a unit stacked on top of each other or arranged next to each other, correct? But due to the scale of the project and like limitations of conventional construction process, these projects will take up a long time to be completed and occupied. So what happens if you do it conventionally is you'll build one floor, then you'll uh, the roof will be made, then you'll wait for the roof to cure for some days, When the roof is cured, then the next story will be built, and the next and the next. So it's going to take up a long time. So how do we save time, effort, expenses, as well as resources while designing these buildings? Because a conventional mode of construction also ends up creating a lot of waste, which actually gets into the environment and also pollutes the environment. So, what is a solution that could help us avoid all of these problems? Can we somehow standardize these elements? Let's say I need 15 balconies of this size, and they can all be produced in a factory. I need such and such toilet of with these finishes, with these fixtures, and they can all just be assembled on site in a very short time. So this is the prefabrication process. So only the foundation is laid using conventional methods of construction, and the superstructure components like the walls, floors, door, windows, balconies, like we were just discussing, and railings, bathrooms, they can all be produced in a factory and later assembled together on the site. So what happens is you'll first design the standardized elements according to your requirements. Then the elements will be produced by a factory. Prefabricated elements will be transported to the site, and the building elements will be assembled on site as per the design. What can you prefabricate? You can prefabricate fire stairs, elevators, plumbing, cooling, ventilation systems, complex elements like facade of a building. If you have a specialized facade system, that can be prefabricated, or any railings are there which require intricacy. Components like walls, floor panels, doors and windows, toilets and kitchenettes, etc. They can all be prefabricated. Okay, so you can also look through some case studies. You can see how interestingly the facade is being made. Like at the front, it looks like a very interesting jali pattern. So you can see how these could have been standardized and created in a factory, and later they were assembled as a whole. And you see all these small Juliet balconies. You can also note down the name of this project and like later see it for inspiration, or like to understand how it works. Again, a very interesting play on the facade through prefabricated elements, colors, and lots of elements of shape, different shapes. So one more thing to keep in mind about prefabrication is you might be tempted, or you might feel like prefabrication is just about stacking boxes of the same size on top of each other. No, you are completely allowed to have freedom over what you want to design. You just have to figure out how to work your design out. It's just that there will be repeating elements, and it's up to you how interestingly you can arrange them. Then the design task comes. So you will be designing a high-rise residential building or a building complex using an industrialized construction method with prefabricated building components. So why are we using an industrialized construction? You have to understand that IC and prefabrication are sustainable. They can be used to create inclusive and accessible spaces. And you can obviously explore suitable construction materials and prefabricated components, because some of the components or the materials that you might be thinking of using in a conventional construction method, they cannot be applied here. Like you can't make a brick wall here in a factory always. Okay, so you are also allowed to push creative boundaries while ensuring your building is functional and sustainable. So these three tenets kind of work together: quality and the workers protection and the sustainable design. So maximize the use of industrialized elements. So your design should feature at least 50% of prefabricated components, and you can standardize the repeating elements like staircases, washroom, balcony, facade. And even though you are standardizing the elements and you're prefabricating them, to make sure that some kind of identity or the uniqueness of the site and the context and the history of the site comes through in your design. Here are the guidelines for participation. So your site will be urban, which is a tier 1 or tier 2 city. The site area will be from 5 acres to 12 acres. Minimum FAR should be 3, and make sure the green cover is at least 15% of the total site area. You can follow the local bylaws, or if they are not available to you, you can use the National Building Code in their absence. At least 50% of the design should be constructed using IC, prefabricated building components, partially or entirely. You'll also need to show some of these details in your design sheets. Here are your design considerations. How do you integrate the industrialized construction into your design? How have you researched about IC and how it is applied? How sustainable is your design is like one of the very key parts of your design. Uh, is your design promoting well-being of its users, and how creative is your design? Here are some of the important dates. Make sure you've registered for the competition before October 7, 2024, and the submissions will be closing on October 17. If you are an undergraduate or a postgraduate student of architecture, planning, civil engineering, or any related disciplines, you can participate in this competition in teams of up to 3 people. And you are also allowed to make teams with students from different academic years within your college, or even with students of different colleges, or even different disciplines. Just make sure that one of your team members must be an architecture student. There is no registration fee for the competition. UG and PG students can take part in the competition. And we've just discussed that inter-college and inter-batch teams are also allowed. You should follow NBC in absence of local bylaws. Uh, yeah, that's it. You can register at the website, or you can simply scan this QR code, and that concludes this briefing.
Okay, thank you, Kanchan, for letting us through the Designaddvance 2024 brief. So I will start with my presentation. Let me share my screen. Okay, so first I will give you a small introduction of our company. Then I will be letting through the IC part, and we'll be decoding the a high-rise building in Revit itself. And as Kanchan said, as you know, so you have a little much idea about what prefab is, even though I'll be going in details. So we'll be going through different components of any high-rise building, whether it can be a different washroom area or the kitchen area or balconies or different building elements, what you can make on Revit, and you can install that on the site, right? So we'll be going in details everything. So let me first start with the introduction of our company. So Capricorn Technology is India's leading design and construction management solution provider. So for the AEC industry, so we have been here from since 1987, and we are serving 20,000 plus Indian customers. We are located in major locations like the Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. So we have 40 plus BIM experts and 250 tech savvy team. So we are also located globally. So Capricorn is now part of a global company called Arcans. So apart from India, we are even located in the Americas, in the EMEA region and APEC region as well. So we are performing globally right now. Okay, so let me directly come to the uh, main webinar, that is decoding a project in Revit. So a warm welcome to all of you. So let us go for industrialized construction now. So what do you understand by that? So as Kanchan has already gone through, so it is often shortened as IC. So it is basically a process, as you can see, where the conventional construction process that we use in India. So for that we can go for industrialized construction, where you can, improve the productivity, right, which will actually help you, give you many kind of benefits if you go for IC, because it increase your automation process, and most of the things are done in the factory only rather than inside. So as you know, when any kind of project is cast in situ is done, many kind of hurdles we face in there, right? So the workman, the environmental degradation, the so much of dust pollution and everything, right? Then again, the area gets blocked and everything, the neighboring site gets impacted as well. So lots of things that we face if we go for conventional method, that can be saved up, that can benefit us if we go for IC, right? So in industrialized construction, you can see one of the main thing that we focus, or you can see also directly, is the environment impact is very much less, right? So you can even increase the increase of labor productivity also, it increases, right? So again, you can see what the IC does is that it assemble the different components of a building. So different components now, using IC prefabrication, different components of a building can be various. So for example, if you take a building or high-rise building, so for this design advance, we're going for IC on high-rise building, residential building, right? So in a residential building, if you just imagine that, you can see different components are there in a building. It can be the walls, it can be the doors, the windows, like, so these are segregated components. If I talk about one whole component like the toilet, whether you are designing a 2 BHK or 3 BHK, the toilet is one whole component which will get repeated, right, in all the floors. Then the kitchen, this that is also one component which will get repeated. Then the balconies, you can see, so the repeating elements that you see, you can take into that into consideration, and you can um, uh, like think of that one component as a like using IC, you can do that, and you can place that in your model or site, right? So it is up to you now what components you take. So it can be different building elements like doors, windows, or balconies, or whole component like kitchen or toilet as well. So this will actually benefit, right? So as you know, prefabrication here means that the construction is done off-site, right? So the construction of these building elements also, or the construction of a whole component, is done off-site, and it will be assembled in the site, or the whole model, or the whole block can also be placed. So we will discover, we will see what are the different things that we'll be going through. So I will first go through some of the images so that you get an idea of IC. So if you see for the first image here, so right now, as Kanchan also mentioned, some of the repeating elements you have to take into consideration, right? So the design is yours. So accordingly, the design is yours, and what components you are repeating, that is for you. Let's suppose we consider the facade of any kind of building that is getting repeated, right? So the whole facade, the whether different style or whatever you are designing, so you can see, this is one example you can see here, like the whole panel with the frame and the glass and everything. So this is made in factory, in, and directly it is like transported to the site, and from there it is placed in the respective places, right? So you can see in the second image also how this is getting installed using cranes and different uh, things, right? So that is how you can uh, you can see what are the repeating elements that are there in your project or whatever you are designing, and then you can give a brief about what things you are going through IC, right? So even in the third image also, you can say this is how it is getting installed, and in there the fittings and everything will be done on site, right? So so this is an image of it. So for this is an example of facade that we are showing, right? So these components of the facade with glass and frame. Similarly, for precast wall also you have seen. So the wall with proper whatever the window size and the door sizes and everything that are cut, and the whole wall is made in the factory itself, and that precast wall will be placed in your site, right? So these are different. So in a building, different components are there, whether it can be doors, windows, your walls, or these external facades, uh, balcony, different spaces also. Upon this is upon you which components you are going for. So I'll go for my second slide now. In here, if you see, so in the first one I showed you the external facade has been installed, right? And but if you can see in this slide, in here you can see the whole wall is prefabricated and placed on the installed on the side. So in this wall you can see required spaces where you will be placing your doors, the windows, everything is cut in the factory, and the even your windows are installed in the offsite only. So the whole one portion of the wall is made in the factory itself, and it has been transported to the site, and it is placed in the required space, right? So not only the facade components, but even your whole particular long wall or the a space also. If you see in the right image here, it's a toilet block. So you have heard about portable toilets and all, right? So these are also part of prefabrication only, right? So in here, the whole block or the whole space is made with the respective, you can see, wall is there. The flooring is also done. The roof slab is also placed, and the required cutouts for the doors is already made in the factory, and the whole block is transported to this site, and it is stacked upon wherever it is required to the place according to the design, right? So in this image also you can see similar wall we have with different sliding doors, sliding windows. So this is how prefabrication works. And now according to the design advance theme, you can see architecture of assembly is the main theme, right? So it is upon you as architects, as designers, you will be designing, and you'll be choosing the repetitive elements that is there, and it is upon you which things you want to uh, prefabrication you'll be doing through prefabrication. So the foundation is done by the conventional method, and the rest of the building will be upon you which things you can go for prefab. It is no hard and fast rule that the whole structure should be prefab. So for example, in here only we'll show you the bedroom area, the other areas, the lobby space and everything, it is made by the conventional method only. Blocks components like the the balcony part, the toilet block, the kitchen block, which I have made as a component, and that component I will install that on the model that I have prepared. So I'll be showing you that. So before like going to that decoding that in the Revit itself, I want to give a more clarity on how it works. So I'll be playing some videos so that you at least get an idea of how prefab works, and you can take the have an idea of it. So you can see the it is done, the foundation and everything can be done by cast in situ, right? So after that, so I'll be like skipping some of the part. It is done by the cast in situ only, it is done for the foundation part. So it is upon you how much percentage you want to achieve by IC. uh, you can go according to your design, not a hard and fast rule that 100% of your design should be of done through IC. So after like the foundation is casted, so in the factory, you will be seeing in the factory. basically this precast walls are made. So the walls with appropriate like window spaces, then your um, door spaces and everything, these are made, and these are directly transported to this site, as you can see, and taking the help of crane, and they are installed in the site, right? Yeah. So this is how what they have done, the on the wall component, right? The wall component they have done through IC, and they are like installing that into the site, right? So using heavy machinery, they are doing that, and certain fittings and everything will be there, which will be uh, done on the site as well, right? So this is an example of walls, and then the you will see the doors and windows also, they already are the with the frame. Sometimes the doors, windows, and the different components, the railings and everything, these are also directly brought to the site and installed in there. So in a door, the frame of the door is there, then the panel of the door, then the handles of the door, right? So all the three components, the frame, panel, and even your handle, these are already installed in the site, installed in the factory, I mean, and from the factory they will bring all those doors according to the sizes that they want, and that will be installed directly on the site. So that is also different components like doors, windows, railings. This can also be done in the factory, and through prefabrication they will be bringing that to the site and installed, right? So this is a video I'm showing you for the precast wall, as you can see. So the exterior walls of this project is made through precast, and it is being installed in the site, right? So similarly for doors, windows, and railings can be done. So the call is yours, which components you will be going, right? And sometimes you will even see the slabs, the floor structural slab that we have, that can also be uh, placed directly on this site. It is made in the factory, and it will be placed directly on the site, right? So I'll be moving a little bit fast in here. So they're installing it. You can see this is how the whole looks, right? Okay, so this is an example. You can see this is how the whole looks, and the finishings and everything will be done now, right? So in some, you will even see the finishing is also done, and that will be installed in the site. So I'll be showing you one another example right now. So now in this example, you will see the whole module of a building. So that is already made in the factory, and it will be directly brought to this site and installed it. You can see this is a whole part of it, whole component of it, and that is being installed in the site using cranes, right? So with the necessary necessary openings that we need for doors, windows, right? So I'll be just skipping this a little bit forward. So the foundation is done on this side, as you can see, and the components are getting stacked on one another, right? So the whole component in here, you can see, this is what I wanted to show, is that in this component, so in the previous video I have showed you the only the wall was getting prefabricated to the site, right? But in here the whole component of the building is getting prefabricated. So with the walls, you have the floor, you have the roof portion also, that is the structural slab we have. And additionally, we even have the windows. The whole window is like placed in the factory only, with the frame and glass panes and all the panels and everything, even for the doors as well. So this is also a way which you can do that. So it is upon you how much you want to go for it, right? So you'll be seeing so I'm like fast forwarding a little bit, so you can see how it is stacked upon one another. So as designers, as architects, you will be giving designing it, and you can play around with different forms, and you can play around how it will be stacked, or if you want to go for it or not. But you can see this is how prefabrication works, where a whole module can also be prefabricated to the site, right? So you can choose maybe the kitchen area, the even your toilet block, or the whole balcony is getting prefabricated, right? So I'll be fast forwarding a little bit, and you can see after placing everything, the finishing will be done, right? So after that is brought to the site and stacked, and the outer finishing, now it is going for the outer finishing, right? And the required things that are there, right? So this is how the final outcome is. So these are different process through which prefabrication can be done. So in this workshop, in this webinar, so we'll be going through one, I'll be sharing my Revit screen where we will decode the high-rise building. So I'll just share my Revit screen again. Allow me a minute. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so in here you can see, I hope the screen is visible to all. So in here you can see it's a small high-rise building that I have prepared here. So in here you can see right now, you may see that it's a high-rise building, and maybe I have done through cast in situ or whatever it is. So in here, not the whole building is done by prefabrication. So I'll be just going to my floor plan and just show you. So in here, if you see, it's a small building where you have 4 units in here. So 3 BHK, as you can see. So in here you can see the bedroom area and everything. This is not prefabricated. This is what I have prepared by normal cast in situ. So it is upon you. For a project, you can go for whole 100% achievement also if you want to do, that is upon you. Or you can go for some of the portion. It is upon you how much you go for IC. In here you can see, now this is the toilet area that I have, right? So this is the toilet area, and this is the kitchen area, right? In this kitchen area, if I just show you this kitchen area, this portion is direct. So I'll just place a view so that you get an idea. So if you just see this, it's a normal kitchen with all the modular things that we, cabinets and everything that we need, and sink and everything, and the required glass, I mean the windows and doors, right? So this kitchen area I have made using Revit family. So in one sense, it's one module that I, this one component where all the layers and everything, all the walls, your plaster layer, your doors, windows, these are fitted in the place, and it is brought to the site to place it. So what I will be doing right now is that, so if I just select this, you can see it is very selectable. I can delete it from here. So the whole component is not there. So I'll be showing you by going to this kitchen block first. So you can see this is a kitchen block that I have prepared in here. So in here, if you see, this is the entry of the kitchen from here. So the, sorry, this is the entry of the kitchen. And then it is going to the utility room, which is the door is there. And then in this kitchen, you can see all these different cabinets are placed. The walls that are placed in here with the plaster layer. So if I go to the reference level in here, you can see all the different layerings are already done in here. So the plaster layer, the main wall in being precast here, and the different internal plaster layer, and the tiling as well. So even that much you can go. So it is up to you how much you go. You can see the finishing tile that we place. So these are already placed in this component with the cabinets as well. So with the different cabinets that I have prepared in here, all these different components, it is up to you. No hard and fast rule that you have to go for the cabinets, because this is something uh, people go for different types also. So but I have prepared that this whole module with the cabinets, with the sink and everything, along with your fixed window that I have and the door as well. So these are placed in this in this component. So if you are a user of Revit, you will be knowing that we have different families in here, which we call, these components are called as families. So I have prepared that in where I have prepared in this template called metric generic model. So in this template, what you can do, you can design your whole block. So it is upon you what you are taking. But for my case, I have taken the kitchen block, as you can see, and I have designed that using different kind of extrusion forms and everything. And this is placed here along with the plaster layer and different components. So different components, right now it's not placed, but you can go for different components like the cabinets, the doors, the windows, then your uh, different sink and everything, plumbing and everything. So you can design the whole block in here. And after this block is designed accordingly, which I have done in here, after that is designed, as you can see, after that is done, what you can do is that you can place this component. You can save that. As you know, it's a RFA file in Revit, what we call. So this family file, we can save that. And what I will do right now, I'll just load that into my project. That is the housing project that I have prepared here. And the whole component will be loaded there, right? You can see this whole component is coming in here. I can place it wherever I want accordingly. So I placed it in here for now so that you can see, or you can directly place it into the required space that you have designed, right? So this is the component in here. So if I like show you this component, if I go to this image in here, so this is the component that is there in the project, right? So I'll just switch off my section box to see. So you can see this is the components, the whole component. So this kitchen block component is transported to the site, and this will be placed in your required space, right? So for me in here, similarly, if you see for the same thing I have done with this toilet block that I have prepared. So this toilet block I have prepared using this same generic model template. In here you can see, similar to the kitchen, you can see the whole uh, main wall, precast wall is there. The layering of the plaster is also there, along with the floor that we have, that is the architectural floor that we have in here, with tiling and everything. And also the wall tiles are also placed. Even in here, to the detailing you can go is for the all the plumbing fixtures and everything are placed with the different kind of like components like doors and windows are placed in here. And also the small you will see in some examples, if you research a little bit more for IC, it is so like advanced that even the small things like the cabinets, the hand towel area, the your mirror and everything, these are already installed in that block, and that will be transported into your site, and it will be installed there. So same thing I can do for this one as well. And once this component is, this component is made in this template, what you can do is that you can install, like bring that into the project. Load into project is the option from here. And I will go back to my project in here, and you can see it is placed, right? Wherever you other places you want to place it, you can, it's very easy. as you can just paste it into different levels that you have in your project, right? So this is one way of doing it, right? So the different components, so I have gone for the kitchen, I have gone for the toilet. So upon you, the design is yours now. You may have a high rise building of different types also, maybe 2 BHK, 3 BHK, penthouses in the, or maybe 4 BHK as well. So accordingly the blocks may be different. Maybe till 10th floor you have 2 BHK or 3 BHK. After that you have the penthouses. So accordingly different blocks can be prepared and that can be installed in the site. There is no rule that the whole project should be on prefabrication. You can go for certain elements. For my case, you can see the elements where toilet block, the kitchen block, the even the balconies also you can do the same. Maybe the bedroom area you will not go for prefabrication, you will design that. So depending upon that you can go for how much uh, percentage you want to achieve by prefabrication. That is upon you, and of course the design is yours accordingly. So as you can see in Revit I have prepared that, and the same can be used in different projects as well. So yeah, so I have prepared that, and till the top floor I have the same layout, and I have just copy and pasted that into different levels, right? So yeah, so if you have any question, please feel free to write in the Q&A. Okay, I'm happy to answer that in the Q&A. So we'll be having a Q&A session and I'll be answering all your questions. So please write it down in the Q&A. Okay. So I hope you have got an idea of IC. So this is how you can prepare different blocks, and which you have to justify accordingly in the presentation, and you can how you were which elements you are going for prefabrication, right? Yeah, so this much for this Revit decode. So this is what I have prepared using Revit families. So as you know, all these different components, whether wall, whether your windows or doors or railings, these are part of what in Revit we call that as family. So these components are made in different templates, and I have in loaded that into my project and placed that in the required space that I need it, right? Okay, so this much will be going for the uh, workshop. Just a minute, let me share my screen. Okay. So, yeah, so the design task you are already aware of right now, and you have seen with the help of photographs, with the help of videos, and also in Revit, I have showed you, I have prepared. So, accordingly, you can design it and go for how much percentage of prefabrication you want and what components you want, right? And of course the design is yours, and the justification you will be doing accordingly. Okay, so any questions you have, please write in the Q&A, so I'll be answering your Q&A now. So the questions, please feel free to ask me. So yes, you will get the recording of it. So it will be mailed to the uh, email ID through which you have registered. So it will be mailed accordingly in the I think in the YouTube or maybe the Designaddvance website. they'll be uploading there. So you can go through the PPT which I have showed you through that link only. Okay, so that will be shared to you. So don't take tension about that. Okay, so I have one question. Is there any particular reason for choosing separate Revit families or for modules instead of Revit groups? See, grouping. Okay. Okay, so as you know, grouping is like what? Grouping is like different elements you have, and you are grouping that as one, right? Uh, See, that is not the hard and fast rule that you have to go for group or do you have to go for Revit families. That is not the main thing that you should be concentrating, but the main is that which portion, which components you are going for, which portion or which components you are going for what, prefabrication. If you go for Revit families, it becomes easy for you to, you know, place all the different components like walls, doors, windows, and the plumb. If you're going for kitchen, the cabinets and everything also you can place it there. Or if you want to use grouping also, that also you can do, because at the end of the day you are you'll be making the presentation, right? Justifying your project, and you can you will be just showing one module or that which components you are going for prefabrication. So at the end of the presentation and the walkthroughs or images or justifying the different components will be there. So you can, if you want, you can go for Revit groups also. If you want to use Revit families, that also you can go for. Okay. If you go for Revit families also, the in the schedule part, how much of modules are placed, that can be counted directly. If you go for group, those will be counted as different individual walls, uh, individual doors, individual windows only. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, any more question if we have? So as you know, it's a high-rise building, so you can go for that. Uh, right. So right. So any more other questions that we have? So yeah, for different sizes of like, see, if you're going for a high rise building now, so high rise building, you will be segregating, let's suppose 5 floors for 2 bhk, maybe 5 floors for 3 bhk, or maybe in the same floor only you have 2 bhk, 3 bhk only. But nevertheless there will be some repeating components, right? So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to go for toilet and kitchen only. This is just an example I have showed you. Whatever your design is, whatever you think that you know cheaper, and whatever you think that it will be more sustainable and everything, so always identify those repeating elements and justify it accordingly, ki, which components you have chosen, repeating components you have chosen, and accordingly the benefits of IC can be seen in there, like the productivity, your the time saving, the also your environmental degradation, workmanship issues and everything. So these are reducing because you have chosen this to be done through prefab, right? So this is just an example I showed you, that toilet and kitchen can be done, but the design is yours and the choosing of the repeating elements and components is totally up to you, which you want to go. And you have to justify at last, since you have chosen these things, and therefore the benefits of IC can be seen in my project, right? The submission requirements, please go to the Designaddvance website. In there, I hope you have the brief. Download the brief also from there. The submission requirements are written there in bullet points. Go through it. One by one, so that you meet for the expectation of the submission requirements. Okay. Okay, so I'll just wait for 1-2 minutes more. If you have any questions, we'll be going through that. Right. So in the Designaddvance website, everything, all the different requirements are written there, the design task and everything. Also, some of the pages, like links are there, so that you can take reference for that. Take reference from that, and you can study and you can research a little bit about IC. Also, this is just the first workshop where I have given you a little introduction for IC. In the upcoming workshop, so we will have workshop every month. So just follow and stay tuned for it, because each and every month we'll be showing you from conceptual design to creating of these different Revit families, which I have made this toilet block and the kitchen block. We will be showing you from scratch how we have developed that. So this will be discussed in details, and free. The workshops are free, so feel free to register and join, so that you get an idea of it. Okay, so no more question I have seen, right? Okay, then thank you everyone for joining. I hope you liked it, and in the upcoming workshops that are there, you can participate and take full advantage of it, and develop your project accordingly. Right. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.